Here I'll tell you when.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. We are live, Angie, live on this Sunday, the 24th of August. Are you ready? Are you ready to be unreasonable and learn about it? I am excited for tonight, Angie. I am so excited to have you here live
Me too.
and to be here. Let me just get my other screen going and mute it. Boom. Hey, Julie Jankowitz joining us live tonight.
JJ's in the house.
Hang on a second.
Okay.
JJ is in the house.
JJ is in the house.
I have been thinking about JJ. I haven't talked to JJ in a bit. It is great to have you here live, JJ.
Hello, my JJ. April's here. Look at people coming on.
April's live.
Loving every minute of it.
Look at everybody popping in. I love when everybody is able to join us live. I mean, don't get me wrong, Angie. I love the people that watch the recording. I really do. I'm actually extremely humbled by the amount of people that watch the recording.
Absolutely.
And you know who you are, Marianne and Zach. Well, Marianne is such a regular, even going back to the pandemic, but we have so many people that catch it, and I think of that when there's a show that I watch that's broadcast live that I most of the time catch in their podcast, and they're like, we love our podcast listener, because that aren't able to catch it live. They're like, people, we have this podcast. If you can't catch us live, they talk about it during the program.
We got Carrie Perry's in the house. Lou Ray is in the house. Look at him come on.
Hello, in Iowa, celebrating 16 years, 600 and something Hershey Kisses. 679 was the official number, something like that. I saw the official number tonight.
Oh.
And the winner of the Hershey Kiss giveaway, which was so much more than winning the Hershey Kisses, because you won so much more, low cost, high impact. And people had so much freaking fun with it, Lou. Love that promotion. Love it, love it, love it.
So somebody actually won 679 Hershey Kisses?
Yes. I might have the number slightly wrong, but it was over 600. I know that part. And I'm a sucker for chocolate. I just need a little bit. What can I have for a little bit of chocolate?
Plain, no flavoring. It's all plain for Neil. Me, on the other hand, we like a little flavor. I know, right, April? You wish it was you, but you never know what might come.
Well, that's where I get in trouble with the holiday kisses, when they mix in some mint in the holiday kisses or something.
Watch the flag. Look at the flag.
I get in trouble. 657. Excuse me, 657. I had 2 out of the 3 numbers right.
Well, I'm eating. I have my Ike's tonight. That's why.
Ike's and Ike's. I had some chip and dip before I came on.
Yeah.
Rylan is cooking up dinner while we're live tonight.
Some of them got eaten. I think if it were me, Lou, it would have been 656 got eaten. Might have left you one.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would have had problems with that on the counter. The count would have gone down during the week.
Right.
So tell the truth, Lou. Was it really like 700 kisses, and by the time the week was over, it was down to 657? Was this a fluctuating count?
Right.
Oh no, I can't do the candy cane kisses. I can't do the candy cane kisses.
Love those.
But that's what would have happened with me. It would have been like the count was really a little heavier than this on Monday, but by Wednesday it's a little lighter.
A little lighter. So Neil, are you going to kick us off with?
All right, I think they're ready. I don't think they're here to talk about kisses tonight, Angie. Well, although it is a form of hospitality.
Exactly. There was 760. Love that. That's all 3. You ate 3. Or 100 and that's a lot. Okay, you all ate a lot. That's awesome. I love that about you, Lou.
That's 103, Lou. 103. That's 103.
I was losing count. Okay, Neil, kick us off with the motivation for the evening, please.
Oh, hang on. We do want to have some nightly normalness. Our unique daily quotes. I'm flipping the page here.
Yes.
It's important to be willing to make mistakes. The worst thing that can happen is you become memorable. It's important to make mistakes. The worst thing that can happen is you become memorable. And we say it all the time. If you're not making mistakes, you are not trying hard enough. Your goals are too small. You're playing it too safe. Make mistakes. Get color outside the line.
I might be very memorable by the end of this evening. Love that.
But yeah, you
Just
and me both. You
Just
and me
saying.
both.
Neil, can I?
But we're so happy to have you here tonight to learn about the art, right, Angie?
The art of unreasonable hospitality. And here's I'm gonna admit something to you all today, right now. And I already admitted it to Julie because she checked in and said, that she was getting ready to watch. I'm like, well, I'm rewriting it. So like at 7:40.
You're rewriting it. This is what drives me.
Doing some of it. Now I got handwritten notes rather than just in the PowerPoint because I was just like, okay, I got to remember this and I got to remember this and I got this energy and let's get going and let's really like make this fun and memorable. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. Is we might have a few mistakes to make it memorable.
All right,
Art.
I am ready for fun and memorable, Angie.
Okay, let me see if I can pull up the right screen for you all. Let's see. I can tell my phone is a little few seconds.
It's coming up.
There we go. So I can move that one that way. This one over here. Can you still see that? Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me either, April. I mean, it's part of my love-hate relationship with Angie. It's part of my love-hate relationship with her.
Well, that's just the way I am. I like to.
This slide looks the same, so I'm at least feeling good that it's always fun and memorable. Hey, Kelly, how are you? How are things in Albuquerque, the ABQ?
Kelly, I was thinking about, I was writing out Albuquerque. I was spelling it in my head. ALBUQUE. I was like, I had that stupid way you say it.
Oh, I can't spell it right. I had to use spell check the last time I wrote it.
I got it in my head. Okay.
But that's like when I have to write Nacogdoches, where Nana was born.
Oh, good gracious. Okay. So let's talk about the art of unreasonable hospitality, where we are going to show you just a smidgy of how to elevate your service into an experience people will remember and talk about. So I gotta do this screen here. Okay. So drop in the comments if your store offers great customer service. Just drop in the comments. Quick, yes, no, sometimes when I feel like it. Do you do great customer service?
Yeah, show us.
In your store? Drop a couple comments. I want to see what you're going to tell me. I want to see what your answer is to this. Anybody? Are my comments just slow? Are they coming in?
There's a little bit of a delay, Angie. This is where your patience comes into help.
Very hard. I hope so.
Kelly hopes so.
Anybody else? Berries? That's an honest answer.
Lou's berries, and I have some insight into that.
Best friend consignment absolutely does. Yeah, anybody else? Because I'm going to tell you.
Compared to other shops. Ooh, that's an interesting quote, Jessica. That's an interesting quote. Kelly, how are you? I missed you.
Yeah,
Kelly, I actually talked about Cleveland, Tennessee like an hour ago. It's so funny that you're here live tonight. I actually talked about your town.
Miss Shelley, I love that. Okay.
And Kimberly's goal is that I've been in Kimberly's store.
Yeah. Yeah. So here you go.
And I know some things about her service.
Let's talk turkey, though. If you know me at all, you know that is a trick question. And one I ask a million times over, because when we talk about customer service, we're really talking about the basics. It's what's expected of a business or a store. And it's a phrase that I feel is used so often that it loses its value. And today, I want you to stop. Today, you are no longer no longer offering customer service anymore. Right now, you are done. You are done with offering customer service. Instead, I want you to offer hospitality. Because hospitality really is all about, it's not about judging people or anything like that. It's about creative mindset. It's about um, inspiring a culture of hospitality in your store that is going to grow bigger and bigger with every growing day because it becomes your competitive advantage, right? We're going to start thinking about a way of doing hospitality that other stores don't do. Other stores don't want to do. They don't want to put in the time, the effort, or what they think they have to do because other stores are going to come along. Other people, other businesses are going to come along. And what's going to set you apart is the hospitality that you extend in your store. So we talk about hospitality being an art because here's what I want you to understand. When you invite someone into your home, right? We talk about hospitality in our home. When you come down to my house or April's vacation home, which is what the office is called, there are small touches everywhere because it's hospitality. I want to make sure that you know that you're welcomed, that I want you to be comfortable, that I don't want you to need for anything while you're here, right? I have taken intentionally chosen things that are in this house that make sure that you are comfortable and don't have to worry about it. It's an art. It's a skill. It's not basic service. Again, it's hospitality, right? Because what we talk about as an art is that unreasonable hospitality requires fundamentals, just like learning, tone, timing, environment. But we can adapt them creatively to every single moment and person because no two experiences are ever going to be the same. Just like no paintings can ever be the same, experiences can't be the same because there's beauty in that interpretation, right? And it becomes personal because, like an artist who becomes attached to their paintings, or other people who are seeing this become attached to it emotionally, sometimes physically when they buy it, right? You connect using unreasonable hospitality and you become personal. You become emotionally involved with your customers. Some people might say that that's not how I do it. But I'm telling you, when you unleash this art, it becomes magic in your store because you start transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary, making someone feel valued and seen in that exact moment. Because this basic act of greeting someone, serving them coffee or water, giving them merchandise to try on or merchandise to look at, it becomes memorable because of how it's done. Just like a brushstroke changes a canvas into a masterpiece, you're doing the same thing. It's like it's like art can be improv in the moment, right? It's how you feel, it's what you're doing. The same thing about hospitality. It's not formulaic. There's no specific way that you have to do it. There are moments and times that you have to see the person in front of you to figure out what that's going to be, and you have some rules in there, but rules alone can't create the magic. Sometimes it's breaking those rules to create this experience for your customers, and it becomes legacy building because when some of the famous painters, I'm drawing blanks on names right now, when they created their masterpiece, I mean, look at them, like hundreds of years, right? We're still looking at them with awe, right? The same thing in your store. You build a legacy that people are going to look at long after your store has closed. I can still run into people when I go back home, or when I go to Nebraska, I shouldn't call it home, right? When I go back to Nebraska, who talk about the store, who talk about what we did and how it made them feel and what they miss about it. I built a legacy back then.
Right, because even like you talk about Angie, like you're talking about with art, using art as an example,
Mhm.
part of seeing a Picasso today is how it makes you feel, right? It's that inner feeling, like you get that feeling with it, just being in the presence of that print.
Right. I can look at a Monet picture and I can imagine my mom standing in front of it, right? It's these feelings that evoke and they bring up. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to brush with boldness right now. That's your whole goal. We're going to brush with boldness so everyone notices, and that you create this store that creates moments long after you close the doors. Okay. So we talk about unreasonable hospitality, and it's inspired by a book by Will Guidara. He and his business partner took their restaurant, 11 Madison Park, to #1 in the world. Like #1. Could you imagine all the restaurants that are just in your town? He not only took them in the town, in his state, in the country, but in the world. Because it wasn't just about the food. It wasn't about what they offered the customers. It was about the hospitality that they extended. That's what took them to #1. For example, what started by serving, how it all started was Will Guidara, who is the owner, was out on the floor, on the restaurant floor, helping bus tables. He could have said, that's not my job. That's not my thing. I don't do that. I'm above that. Instead, he's in there in the mix, helping out his team, doing what it takes to make his restaurant run, right? So he happened to be bussing this table,
Right.
and they were foodies, and they were from Europe, and they were in New York City to experience all the wonder of the restaurants and all the stuff that they could do, right? Because there's so much. But when he was bussing this table, he heard them say the one regret they had was that they did not go out and get a hot dog from a street vendor. Something as simple as a hot dog on the street, right? So what does Guidara do? He leaves the restaurant, he goes down, he buys a hot dog, takes it back to his chef and says, plate this like you would anything else. There's a little bit of a struggle there because the chef was like, what the hell am I doing plating a dirty hot dog? Excuse my language. But he did it. And Derek took this out to the table, right? He took it out to this group. And they were on their way to the airport. If I didn't say that, they were on the way to the airport. This was their last meal. So he takes them out there. And this is what he says. He said, well, quote, no one had ever reacted to anything I served them better than they reacted to that hot dog. Each person said it was not only the highlight of their meal, but of their entire trip to New York. And they'd be telling that story for the rest of their lives. Could you imagine a hot dog set off this incredible chain of events that turned into unreasonable hospitality? But it wasn't just one. It wasn't just one experience. But here's what I want you to think about. Again, what if he had not been on that restaurant floor? Would this have happened? Probably not. Would his restaurant have gone to #1 in the world because it stood out for its hospitality, not just the food that they served? Probably not. If he thought that he was above doing these things, would this happen? Nope. Because he never would have heard this conversation. He never would have got it. And he would not have turned his team into dream weavers. So dream weavers are the term that he uses when they create these special moments for anybody that comes into the restaurant because of something they heard. For one family, it was they were from Spain. They'd never seen snow before. They were headed back the next day. So they got their Dreamweaver went out. It was a position that they created. The Dreamweaver went out, got sleds, got hot chocolate, blankets, put them all in the back of the SUV that they had gotten to take them back. And so they went out. This was all ready for them in their car so that they could have this amazing moment sledding in Central Park. Who does that, right? When you get engaged at 11 Madison Park, you get the complimentary champagne, but what you don't know is that you got them in Tiffany glasses until you're ready to leave because Tiffany donated 1,000 glasses to them. That elevates everything that they're doing, right? So what we're doing and what we're talking about today is elevating the touch points within your store. Not just we're not just going to think about every single thing, but we're also going to think about recurring moments. What happens over and over again? People get engaged in that restaurant. This is what they do. People in your store, they have to go to a funeral. This is how we help them through it. They have a first job. This is how we help them through it, right? They get their first apartment. This is how we help them through it. And we elevate the touch points through recurring moments. And then we set these rules. And these rules are rules that we just make because we're setting the tone for our team. but we have to let our team be the dream weavers and create magic, create art within our stores, right? Um, like that is the thing. And I'll tell you, you can read the book, and I've got the book, like I've got several copies of it, but the book isn't going to tell you how to do all the stuff. The book is just going to tell you what it means. So I'm going to walk you through. I took the course the beginning of the year, end of last year, beginning of the year, to become an unreasonable hospitality certified coach, national coach, that I can do all this stuff and teach this stuff. So that's why we're walking through it this way in this specific timeline. But the first thing we have to talk about really is our customer journey map. Okay. So an reasonable hospitality customer journey map really is a chart that shows every step a customer takes in your business. When we plot it out from start to finish, like I've got it plotted out right now for over 600 touch points. Every single touch point is an interaction that you make with your customers, with your suppliers, before they even think about coming into your doors to after they leave and beyond. I've got 600 some right now, but I know that list can grow with creativity and actually thinking more about it. So, like, I'll tell you, on the wall outside my office on the hallway is a long piece of craft paper, and it's got the journey mapped out, because it's really important to understand where all you intersect with your customers. So basically, we list the steps from where they first hear about you until after they leave. You spot those moments where you can go above and beyond. You plan wow moments that make them remember you and tell others. Does that make sense so far? I don't have my Facebook up anymore. Neil, am I coming through okay?
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense, Angie, and it's starting to click, because while you're talking about these elevated experiences that are truly elevated, and moments in life where there are real things happening, whether it's an engagement, a special trip, which traveling to New York City, as an example, is a special trip. Okay, what your knowledge and experience in this is bringing these touch points down to the everyday store, whether you're selling Louis and Gucci's or Gap and Levi's. Okay, it does not matter what they're selling. There are ways to elevate that experience, and really, one of the stats that you haven't talked about tonight so far, but I'm going to throw it out there, and we will probably repeat it more than once tonight, because it bears repeating. Okay, just like your question at the beginning, Angie, was, do you provide great customer service in your store? Okay, the statistic is 80%. Okay, and this isn't my statistic. This is a research statistic. 80% of companies, 80% of companies say they give great service, like most of you did tonight. Most of you said at least most of the time, or I hope, okay, or better than the other shops, okay? But that's what companies say. You're the company, okay, in this thing. If we surveyed your customers, only 8% of customers say those companies give great service. So 80% of companies say it, only 8% of their customers say it. And we want to elevate that so that everybody says it. And it doesn't have to be wacko crazy, okay? It can be, I mean, Angie, you probably don't know that I have this. I'm a traditional guy, Angie. Yeah. You've traveled enough around with me. I'm a traditional guy. Can I tell you a secret? We promise not to tell anybody. Just keep it between us.
Yeah, between us. Yep. Go for it.
Just between us?
Yep.
I have socks with holes in them.
Aye, 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 Neil. Aye, aye,
aye. I do. I have socks with holes in them. Some of them are just a little hole. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can find it, Angie. You can barely perceptible, because like I save it because in case the other one of another matching pair, this one's got a little, so it's got a little hole right there, not a big deal right there. in this sock, and I keep it in case I get another pair that matches it, so then I still have a match, right? So
Right.
I keep the holy socks because I'm God, because I'm a guy, not because I'm God. They're holy socks, but I'm not God. I'm keeping them in case I get a match of them. It doesn't have to be expensive or time. And here's one that Luna got a hold of. So
Oh, gracious. Oh my gosh. Okay.
okay, okay.
Okay.
But no, this is just between Angie and I. You're not supposed to be listening, people. This is just supposed to be Angie and I knowing about
Right.
this.
Right.
Okay. And you may remember because we've talked about it before. I get my dress socks from Bombas. Okay, the company that for every pair you buy, they donate a pair.
Right.
Okay, and they're just comfortable socks. Okay, but it turns out Bombas found out that my socks have holes in them, and said, "How many pairs you got, Neil, that have holes in them?" And I'm like, "Well, I got 6 pairs set aside right now that I have holes in that I'm hoping to find match, when the next ones, because I've been buying socks from them for years, or let me rephrase that, gifts because I'm too cheap to buy them myself."
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Now this is sounding like me, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. But they're like, "Okay, we're gonna send you the socks if you'll get rid of these socks that have holes in them, so you're not going around with socks that have holes in them. We're gonna replace your socks that have holes in them. You don't have to buy anything. We're either gonna give you a gift card to our website, or we're just gonna send you some dress socks that you've bought before. Is that okay?"
That's amazing. That's why they're
Isn't that amazing?
they're an amazing company.
And they didn't even want to know about the Luna socks, the ones that Luna ate.
Right. Right.
So
that's a touch point, right?
but that doesn't cost them a lot. That little thing, okay. I mean, you already knew that I liked Bombas because they were comfortable, and they did that because we've talked about that before.
Right.
Okay.
Stop bucket.
But doesn't that make you want to buy Bombas for yourself or Bombas for Leonard
Absolutely.
or
Absolutely.
Mama Tess?
I'd buy them for myself if I wore socks.
Right.
I don't wear socks.
Or a sock puppet, as Jessica says.
Right.
She wasn't supposed to be listening, Jessica. But that cost them very little, but that endeared me as a customer.
Right. It makes a huge impact. A huge impact. And so what we do with that is we look at these things, right? As a business, you look at these things. That's a touch point that Neil's talking about. A touch point when a customer interacts with that business, and before, during, or after they buy something, or just stop in, right? These are your moments and opportunities to become memorable. Bombas Socks has become memorable for Neil because this is what they've done. I know with the Canon printer, they replaced it. This is what they do, right? So we want to talk about
Right. Oh, absolutely.
right? So it's a touch point.
That is why we all have Canon printers, Angie.
Right? So each of these touch points, again, is an opportunity, a chance to go beyond expectations. Remembering a customer's favorite brands, giving first-time sellers or consigners a welcome card that was created with intention, offering returning shoppers first picks on your new arrivals or a VIP shopping night, right? These are touch points. But along the touch points, we create, again, this customer journey map. And it's this chart that shows every step your customer takes with your business. But instead of just tracking what happens, it also marks where you can add special, unexpected touches to make them feel cared and valued and where they are standing in front of you today. Again, it's basically listing the steps, the internet search. They pull into the parking lot, they walk up to and through the doors. Shoppers browse and check out, suppliers, their intake approach, the processing, and then after the visit. So this is just a very small, again, small touch point map, journey customer.
That's not 600 and something, Angie.
No, so we're only using these few because we don't have that much time to go over 650. But let's talk about the touch points again. Every turn, you have a touch point. And many of them we don't think about because we stopped seeing them. I want you to think back to when you first made the decision to open the store and you saw your space for the very first time. I remember walking into the baby store, which was a dry cleaners, and I also remember walking into the big store, which was our old Ben Franklin, right? Remember Ben Franklin back in the day? Each store, each store I walked in and I had these moments of, oh my gosh, did you see this? Oh my gosh, I could do this. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And this excitement, what happens to that? It starts to blend in. I stopped seeing the stage. I just saw it as another place I had to dust. I stopped seeing the cool light fixtures. It was just another thing I had to take care of and do bulbs, right? Sometimes we start ignoring these things, but our customers, our shoppers, is it enough? No, because they see it. They notice these little things that we stop seeing or sometimes never noticed in the first place. Do you think your customers notice dust bunnies underneath the racks? Yep. You think they notice the consignment crazy behind the intake counter? Yep. All the empty cups sitting on the checkout counter? Yep. Things that we just, like, to us, it's no big deal. They're seeing them all. These are touch points. These are interactions. These are places and moments in time where they are making a decision on whether or not they're coming back. So we want to talk about elevating them, what this means. Because when we can take that time to identify these touch points in our store, we can determine what they mean to the customers and what they also mean to our employees, what they mean to our store and to ourselves, right? Because unreasonable hospitality is not just for your store, it's for your team, and it is definitely for you. It elevates you in a way that you probably didn't imagine was possible. So let's talk about the touch points of before they even step inside your store. We have our website or Google Business Listing and social media. We need to tell the story of our store before someone ever makes that decision to come in or call or visit our website sometimes, right? They just go on Google, they Google it. Google is one of the biggest search engines. And when they see that Google Business Listing, they're looking at it. They're looking at every piece of it, right? But I'm going to back up and talk about the websites and going.
Well, sometimes even worse than that, Angie. They just ask the device. They ask Alexa or Hey Google. You know, I'm looking for a consignment store. Tell me about that store. And you're hearing the computer version of them saying it. You're not even getting the visual. The bot is creating that for you, and that's even scarier than what they might see on the website or on the Google Business Listing or on social media if they look themselves.
Absolutely, it can be. So let's talk about your website. First thing I want to know, is your site easy to navigate? If you have online shopping, can they sort by size? Can they sort by category? Can they find what they're looking for? Can they find your address, phone number, an email address, and store hours at the very top of the page, or do they have to scroll down through the whole darn thing to find it? Too many times I find it at the bottom. It should be at the top, right? Can your potential consigners or suppliers understand the language of how to bring things in? Do they understand? Is it complicated or is it simplified? I gotta tell you, so many times I look at the websites of consignment stores or resale stores and I'm like, I have no idea what this means. I know the store. I have no idea what this means. On Tuesday, I can do this, but on Thursday, I can do that. And on Sunday, I can do this, but Wednesday, don't think about it. So it's all these different things that make it so confusing to them that we are not building a store to serve our customers. We're building stores to serve ourselves. And sometimes most times, that is not unreasonable hospitality because that's being selfish on our part. Do you have an online portal where your consigners or suppliers can check their accounts depending on what you have, how it's set up? Like, how are they going to get their money? They want to know, is this on there? Is your Google Business Listing, again, have the information correct? So many times I've seen where they've said temporarily closed. Like, I know they're open today, but their Google Business Listing or social media or somewhere on there, it's saying that they're not open. Is your business description welcoming, or is it just the facts? Here's a big one. Do you have photos that represent your store as it is today, or all the photos that are on there from 2 years ago? When I look at photos on a website, I want to know if I'm going to really find the things that I'm seeing. If it's really going to be like the pictures I'm seeing, or is it going to be when I come in? I've had it happen. I go into a store and it just looks like a totally different disaster of a store. That is
Right, and that happens, and Angie, not only with our own store. I mean, sometimes, you know, the stores that use stock photos, not even the 2-year-old photos, they're just using stock photos on their website, which doesn't set the tone of what people are really walking into. But that happens with traditional retailers too. I mean, a simple one is Kohl's. You look at the website and the store is beautiful. Okay, you're going to go to these bright, beautiful stores that are well organized. You go into a Kohl's and it's a I mean, every store owner on here who's ever walked into a Kohl's is picking up clothes off the floor, putting the hangers back on, doing things that they should not be doing
right.
because they don't want it to look like that.
Right. We're in there working the store, right? So
absolutely.
Right. So when you have photos of your store that's current and fun and showing people and not just products, again, you're inviting people into your story, right? And those darn reviews. Darn those reviews.
Oh.
They can be so awful. And I am not talking about the review that you get. I'm talking about the response that's given back. I don't know the statistic, but I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends, will not go into a business where the store owner has attacked the person writing the review. That's not the kind of business I want to do business with, a store I want to do business with. Right? So when your reviews when you keep them professional and in a non-accusatory fashion, everybody knows there's two sides to every story. I never take what people say on those things at face value, right? But when you go on there and you attack the person that wrote it, that says more about you than it says about them, and you are not giving any kind of hospitality to have that situation rectified. Maybe it doesn't need to be rectified. Maybe just let it go, but you should respond to every single review that gets on there. Same thing with your social media. Respond to those reviews. And again, is your about information correct? Is it inviting to people? Are you telling stories or just selling? Is your feed just about the sale of the item, right? When you start sharing behind the scenes moments, making the person that's scrolling like stop and want to see more about who I'm doing business with and understanding more about them, that is part of the whole path of unreasonable hospitality. You're inviting them in. Remember, we have to invite people in before they even come, right? I invite people to my home before they even step in the door. I have all these things in place. It's the same concept, right? And then when they get there, what's happening? What is happening? Does the outside of your store look like a disaster? Leaves everywhere, dirt everywhere, debris, all the trash, right? Clean it up. That's unreasonable hospitality. When you have an inviting storefront, does the signage, is it nice? Is it clean? Is it easy to read? How many times, and answer this question in the chat if you want to, but how many times have you gone to a business and you can't tell whether it's open or closed? So you're looking for the store hours, but the store hours are this small on the front door and you can't read them. You have to get out of your car, go up to the door and look at the store hours. Half the time.
Oh, I hate that.
Right? It's just frustrating as all get out. So think about those little things. That's a touch point. The signage on your door is a touch point. If your first sign that anybody sees is we have video cameras, we're watching you, we think you're a thief, that's not very welcoming. But if the first sign on the door they see it says, welcome to some resale therapy. Come on in for some resale therapy. That's inviting. You got to think about these things. These little touches are touch points that they're looking at. When they get to checkout, we've got a lot of stuff between when they walk in your door and get to checkout. But when they get to checkout, what does that look like? Are your employees greeting them by name? Like there's a store here in town, down here in Lakeland, that I absolutely love for gifts. Love going there. I've taken April there. I've taken several people there. I love going there, but I'll tell you one thing. I would be there more often if they took the time, and it's been almost 5 years now. They've never asked my name. They've never said, hey, Angie, welcome back. How did you like that gift you bought? Did your friend like that gift? Nothing. There's never been 1 ounce of personalization when I walk in that store. They just have some of the cutest stuff around. That's what keeps me going back. If they did invite me into their story, I would be back all the time, spending a heck of a lot more money than I do, because that would be the place that I would want to go to when I wasn't sure where to go or what to do, and I was having one of those days, which I'm going to assume a lot of us have those days, right? I used to be stuck not knowing where to go. I would get in my car and start driving and then be like, I don't know. If I had a place to go, and when I closed my store, I heard the stories that this was the place to go. So you're inviting them into the hospitality of your store by doing things, by recognizing them. Just affirming their purchase even is a part of unreasonable hospitality. That dress looks stellar on you. You're going to knock them dead at the ball tonight, or the gala that you got to for the fundraiser. My kids love that toy. I can't wait to hear how Jimmy thinks it when he opens it, what his excitement is, right? These little things that affirm what they're purchasing are huge. It may sound simple and it may sound like, well, duh, but a lot of people don't do it. When you give back change, or you're giving it back in a big old wad, I don't know how many times I get change back in a wad. Take the time to count it out. That's being respectful, right? That's part of unreasonable hospitality.
It's simple but not simplistic. I mean, it's
right.
these little touch points matter.
Absolutely. Do you just
Right.
throw the bag on the counter, or do you walk it around nicely, or just at least hold it up so they can grab the handles, right? What are you doing? Are you
Right.
authentically thanking them and inviting them back? All right? Like, thanks so much for coming in today. We're having this great sale next week. Can't wait to see you for that. It's as simple as that. That's unreasonable hospitality. You're inviting them to return to your store, making them feel welcome. But what happens when they're coming in for intake? Are they seeing a crazy counter? Are they seeing stuff all over the floor? Are they seeing everything just piled up? Or are they seeing that that you're respectful of people's items? That's unreasonable hospitality. I can tell you, like when I went and saw Susie Pineda's store, Style Threads in Avon, this past June, she's got this system that's so organized, and shelves and bins, and she thought it looked chaos, and I thought it looked amazing. As a consigner, my point of view with that is that she respects what I have, respects what I'm doing, and is taking the time to make sure that everything's going to the right person. But how many times, and I will tell you 100% honest, that I have done this so many times, someone walks in the door with a pile of stuff, and I'm just like, oh, can't do it, can't handle them, and my demeanor changes. Do you think they can't see that? They can. So unreasonable hospitality at intake is inviting them into the counter. What do you have for me today? Being upbeat even when you don't feel like it. And if you have to walk away and get somebody else to take that over, you walk away and you get somebody else to take it over in a friendly and kind way. You don't just turn your back and walk, right? Again, is your policy? Is it hard to understand? Are first-time suppliers, consigners really explain you explain how this all works to them? When you say no, are you just saying like, we can't take these, they're dirty? You probably heard my favorite, not my favorite thing, but the biggest thing one of my employees said was, who's going to want to put their feet in your stinky shoes? Like, really? That is not unreasonable hospitality in any shape or form. So I don't want those things happening. I want the intake counter to be personal and fun, because consigning is a very intimidating process, because it can feel like you are judged. And I don't know if you've heard the story from me. I think I've told it once or twice before, but when I was moving, I went to a consignment store that was buy outright. I had my SUV full of totes in the back, because that's how they took them, was totes, full of totes in the back. I sat in the parking lot because I was nervous as hell to go in. Finally, I get out of my car and I go to the back door and I lift the gate. Nope, put the gate down, go back and sit in my car. These people inside the store probably thought, what the hell is she doing out there? Finally, I made the decision. I took one tote in just to see how it was going to be. I mean, I knew what I was doing. I knew what's in those totes. I knew that that's amazing things, but I felt intimidated, like I was going to be judged. So if you've never thought about that, think about that on the side of your consigners, because that is huge to people, not feeling that they're going to be judged for the things that they bring in, right?
Yeah, and valued. I mean, valued as a person. I mean, it's a very personal thing when you bring in your items. I'm going to give you another stat, Angie, that, I gave you my stat earlier about great customer service. You know, a typical business, Angie, hears from 4%, 4% of its dissatisfied customers. 4% of the customers you pissed off are all that you hear of. Okay, of just the ones that are mad at you, not of all your customers. But if there's 100 people in all the time mad at you, you will hear from four. 91 to 96% just never come back. Never.
I believe that because I do that. I do that all the time.
Yeah, absolutely we do. We are big on service, and we've talked about it a bunch on the recent restaurant dining experiences we've had together and things in our travels, and the difference between the wow and the yeah at best, and the amazing thing with that is, and the not amazing really is, and this goes right to the core of what we are teaching with this, is the wow restaurant was not the most expensive. The one that wowed us again and again, okay, was the cheapest of all the restaurants we dined in that week. And that it doesn't have to be big, flashy, and expensive. It just has to be amazing.
Right.
And amazing doesn't have to cost, but amazing does pay, Angie.
It
You
does.
know, if you want, it pays in return visits. It pays in the lifetime value of the customer. It pays. Your customer is not a transaction. Your customer, let me say that again, because I like lots of transactions. It's one of the metrics that I love, Angie. Love, love, love. But it is in the replication of transactions from the same customer that pays and pays and pays.
Absolutely.
It is that goes over and over again, and that lifetime value is the gift that keeps on giving.
Right.
With your customer.
So we've done
Absolutely.
we've done touch points up until they walk out of the door, and then what happens? How do we thank them? What are we doing? Is anybody like? I want to, if you're on here tonight, just what do you do after after they leave your store? What do you do for your customers? Does anybody do anything? We used to have a policy where we would write 3 cards a week, right? We just had cards. We would write 3 cards a week to a customer that made a difference, right? So it's something simple as, hey, again, you looked great in that dress. I hope you had a great time at your fundraiser gala. I hope you enjoy your new couch in your home. Like all these little things. Or sometimes it's just thanks for stopping in. You lifted me up today, right? Sending out thank yous and sending out emails that aren't just transactional, but actually are personal. You've got their email. You can send them a personal email, right, from your store. Putting a small gift inside of it, a pair of earrings. I don't know how many times I gave the necklace that I was wearing to somebody because they loved it or because it matched what they were wearing or purchased. Like I've done that, and it's in my reviews of the store of Absolutely Her that I actually did these things. So it's like these little things beyond the exit, beyond just that transaction, make a huge difference, because when they get home, they're going to remember you and how you're making them feel, even after. Do you walk them out with a large golf? A few of those stupid large golf umbrellas can make a huge difference when it's rainy season. Like it's raining like cats and dogs all the time down here. If someone were to help me out to my car, make sure I didn't get wet because he had this big golf umbrella, or making sure the path of snow isn't,
that was a thing. That was a thing, early on, Angie. I don't know if you knew this with the Savannah Bananas baseball team. If their game got rained out because of rain, they would walk everybody to the car with the umbrellas.
That's amazing, right? Fans
It is
first.
amazing.
Fans first.
They had all the people there anyways. They were standing around. I mean, you had all the staff
Let's do
already
that.
there. You were closing the stadium down, so walking people to their cars with big umbrellas. Okay, simple, low cost, high impact.
Right. But here's the thing. What our we talk so much about shoppers and things, but how do we celebrate our consigners? Right? Have you ever thought about like buying a steamer? Like if you're a clothes store, buying a steamer and getting your sticker put on it. Like you can buy the stickers through Sticker Mule, one of the two that can go on this handheld steamer. If they've made $1,000, what have they made you? Right? You can afford a little tiny steamer. Put it on there. So next time when they're steaming their clothes, they're gonna think, I don't really like what I'm wearing today. I'm gonna wear it, but I'm gonna get it clean and I'm gonna take it to Absolutely Her to consign it. Right? You're always in the front of their mind. You're celebrating them. Right? We had a celebration of our 10,000th person to sign up for an account, to create an account in the store. She walked in, she had no idea when she checked out and gave us her name that she was a 10,000th person, but she got this little celebration, this bag with gift cards and all this stuff from the store. Right? All these little things beyond the exit, you can make a difference in. So think about these touch points because some of them are one to many, right? Some of these things are one to many, but like the clean intake counter and the handing them the bag, but sometimes it's just one to one. And it's seeing the person in front of you, identifying that hospitality of what you can do for them, and seeing them in the moment as how they are, not how you think that they should be, or not how you perceive them to be, but where they really are. So we have these moments of the pause when they're staying in front of a mannequin, and they're like, they're kind of looking at it. All you have to do to extend hospitality is go up and say, you want to try that on? Are you not sure how to style it? Let me give you a few ideas. And take it off and show them what it is and take it to the fitting rooms, right? That's hospitality. Comments. How many times have you heard the comments of, I'm so fat, I can't believe how much weight I've gained, or I can't believe I came in looking like this. And one of my favorite things, like I'll tell you, I used to call people honey, and some, it might drive people crazy, but I would just be like, honey, I don't care. I don't care what you look like, where you drive, or what kind of purse you carry. I just care that you came in today. What can we do to make it better? And be in that moment with them, listening to them. Because they're going to come in overwhelmed, not sure where to go and what to do. But when you can guide them and help them through figuring out a situation, I've told you about Jane, who came in after she was getting divorced. She's going to be a single mom, had to start a job, didn't know what to wear, what she liked, or anything like that. I took her from trying to figure out like her animal style to where she was bringing in her friends and styling them herself, right? It's these moments that make the difference. When when you have people waiting for a customer, like you have a woman shopping and the husband's just hanging out, and when a husband who is not willing to wait is not one that you're going to get very much sales from, the spouse, whatever.
What?
Right?
What? Husbands are always willing to wait.
You're a good waiter. I'll tell you that you're a good waiter. But we had a coffee bar. I had just a coffee little station set up at the end of the counter, my really big counter, had bar stools. They would sit there. We would chat. I would be like, I'll be right back. Come back to them because I had to help a customer. I'd come right back and say, where were we? Let's pick up. And so I was keeping them engaged. They were engaged. They were enjoying the store. They would bring their spouse back as much times as they want because they knew what was going to happen when they came in. If they're lingering after they've made the sale, after you made the sale, they don't want to go home. What's happening? Invite them to stay. Tell them you don't have to leave. You can stay. You can look around, have a cup of coffee, sit at the end of the counter, right? I know I've got stuff to do. I know my list is huge, and I know your list is huge too. But sometimes those lingering moments or these moments every once in a while can make a bigger impact on your bottom line than having to get all those tasks done. And when you have someone, if you think about someone who is, hello, Miss Ellen, when you have someone who is purchasing something, and it's like for us, it was the wholesale items or jewelry, and it'd be like, oh, is this a gift for you or is for someone else? If it was for someone else, what do you think we had? We had gift wrap there. We would get boxes and bags and all kinds of fun things, and we would just wrap it up real quick. One more thing off your list and hand it back to them, right? These are little things that are unreasonable hospitality, but a lot of stores don't think about. And for your suppliers, on the other hand, you know, they've got this attachment to clothes. They've got this attachment to the home thing they brought in, their kids' things, right? All you have to do is honor that attachment. I understand how this can be hard to let go of this, but just imagine another child is going to be able to play with this and that's going to light up their day. Imagine what they're going to feel like, right? You're acknowledging them in that moment and bringing it around so it's a happy thing. The first timer who doesn't know what to do to consign, you walk them through it, you just don't hand them the agreement. When they're bringing you things that are exceptional, you go through it and you're like, these things are amazing. I can't wait to showcase them, right? Thanks for doing all this work for us so we don't have to. How many times have you had, you're going through consignment and you can see, you find the slip of a store down the street. Your first inkling probably is to be like, well, I'm not going to help them. If they couldn't come to me first, I'm not going to take anything of theirs. I admit, I've said it, I've done it. Here's what I should have done though. I should have been like, you know what? I appreciate you bringing your things here. We're going to have these out on the floor within 2-3 days, and I'm going to put some of these on our social media account because I know the store down the street, it takes them a lot longer to get their stuff out, and I know they don't like putting this kind of stuff on their social media. I'm not bashing the other store. I'm just telling them why we're better. And that is kindness in showing them we respect their things. When they show up and they apologize because their stuff's not very good, it's okay. Tell them that it's okay, right? Explain to them what really works, what you're looking for, how to make it better. We had pickers. When I sat down and worked with the pickers and said, this is what we're looking for, their sales skyrocketed, right? And again, celebrating those milestones of huge consignment payouts. What can you do to honor them? Because they are the lifeblood of your store. You know, we talked about, we did kindness cards. Imagine the parents who are coming in at Christmas time and they've only got a certain amount of money to spend for their kids. Hey, we got Secret Santa going on today. And you have scratch off cards where you have filled in the amount and make it the biggest one of all, right? As big as you can make it, whatever you want to pick. So they get that big one. Other people in the store get small ones, but it makes them feel like they were special that day. You did something to make their load easier. They're not going to remember what they bought, but they're going to remember how you made them feel. Do home delivery sometimes. Surprise them with somebody in town that's always having to get things shipped to them because they can't make it in. Surprise them. Wrap it up nicely. Put something nice in there with it and drop it off at their house. Celebrate life moment. Do some pickup assistance if they're struggling to get their stuff in. They've got great stuff, but they can't get it in. How can you make that easier? How can you do a VIP intake day so that they can bring as much stuff, not just sticking with your limits, but those VIPs get more stuff, bring more stuff in, right? And again, milestone celebration. Because here's what we're talking about. We're talking about the magic, right? It's the magic of unreasonable hospitality. So I want to ask you this question. If you want to answer it, think about this. If you could go back in time and think about a certain customer or supplier, what would your magic have been in that moment? If you had unlimited resources, right? What would you have done, right? Because the thing to think about is it can be the smallest things that are going to make the biggest impact. For me, I'll tell you, the magic of my unreasonable hospitality would have been giving an apology to someone that didn't deserve my attitude when they were in. Those are the things that drive me the craziest, that I can't go back and apologize. Is it just like I could?
Yeah, Angie, I would tell you it's not the. I would challenge you that it's not the unlimited resources that you need. It's the unlimited imagination, that you have things that are in your power that you can do, that are in your budget, that may not cost you anything. It's not the resources, it's the imagination.
Exactly. And we haven't talked about this yet, but technically, you know, according to Gadara, what he says is you have the 95-5 rule. 95% of your budget should be strict. Go to what you need, count every penny, all of that stuff. 5% of your sales, of your revenue, goes to the Dreamweaver, goes to unreasonable hospitality and how you can make magic in your store. because your store is no different than a restaurant. Every single day when you unlock those doors, you're not just opening for business, you're opening your door to friends and family and soon to be family. And when you do it right, those customers become more than transactions. They become a part of the life and heartbeat of your story, of your store. Unreasonable hospitality.
Exactly.
Unreasonable hospitality becomes contagious when you invite your employees to be a part of this magic. Because when one team member does something and the other team members see the reaction and how that got them excited and the customer excited, they want to do it too. It just sparks something in everybody, right? And then what happens is your employees start raising the bar. They do a little bit better and a little bit better. It's not about policy manuals. It's about sometimes breaking the rules in order to be unreasonable and offering unreasonable hospitality. It becomes a part of your team. It becomes part of the environment that people want to be a part of. People want to work for you. People want to come into your store. It becomes contagious. And reasonable operations, hospitality becomes productivity. Because when your operations are built around genuine care and intentional service, efficiency naturally follows. Clear processes, well-defined expectations, and thoughtful touches mean your team spends less time fixing mistakes or scrambling to meet the needs of people. They're anticipating them ahead of time. We know what these recurring moments are going to be. How can we make them unforgettable for our customers, right? Productivity is just not in the context, it's not about getting more done, it's about getting things done right. So they feel valued, right? It takes the same amount of time to do the right thing as to do the wrong thing. So why not do the right thing? Become productive about it because it's going to make you transformative in your leadership. It changes the way you guide your team and shapes your business culture. You're going to find out, if you come to our workshop, you're going to find out why your core values matter to unreasonable hospitality. If you don't know what they are, we're going to show you this. Because when you start working from your core values, what your business lives and breathes for, it's going to make a bigger impact. Your team's going to see the impact and how they behave. You will model behavior that they are like, I know I've said this before. We used to have the back of my door covered with dry erase. And I asked a question, what is great customer service? And they wrote down all these things. And I'm like, where did you get this? And it was like, because you showed us. You showed us how to do better. And when you can do better, your team does better, and everything just transforms within your store. There's just such pride that comes with it. And what happens next? Your profits are inevitable. Because like what Neil said, people come back over and over again when they have a home, a place where they can come and feel seen in the moment, because it's all about being valued and seen in the moment. They come back, they spend more, they come back more, they spend more, they bring their friends, they tell everybody about the experience. It just compounds and gets bigger and bigger. Thing with your suppliers. When they see how easy it is to work with you, you've taken away the barriers. They want to bring in better items and bring them in more often. When you have a business that's built on relationships, unreasonable hospitality doesn't just influence profits, it makes them an inevitable outcome of what we do. Neil, do you have anything else before I do my last? No, you've got more.
No. I mean, it is all of that, and it pays. It pays, and that's the thing. This is an investment that pays dividends time and time again. If you want to see the money flow back to you, we talk about the flow of money and how do you get more sales. This is how you do it, by creating unbelievable, simple but unbelievable experiences in your store. In that, and it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. This is just Angie. What you covered tonight is just the tip of the iceberg, because we're going to get into the math behind this, more of the science, the actual mapping. You're going to see Angie 600 and something touch points, and then some, because you're going to identify them. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So if you haven't booked your trip to Omaha yet, what are you waiting for? Today is International Flight Day. Book your flight day. Good value day. Book book now, right at nextlevelresale.com, because this is just barely the tip of the iceberg of what we are covering in 3 days in Omaha, where you're not only going to see it, you're going to live it, and you're going to see how to implement this with your team. Even if you are your team.
Right. Right. Again, yeah. Even if you are your team, because I don't want this to I want you to understand a few things. So I've got this whole thing that I want to read, but real quick, this is what I was rewriting. But April and I have been doing such fun things to show you unreasonable hospitality in Omaha, because a lot of people have not been to Omaha. So you got to figure out, like, okay, it's the middle of nowhere. The joking thing was, do you have paved roads? Yeah, we have paved roads. Is it all about cornfields? No, there's cities. Like, there's a lot of nothing some places of it, but Omaha downtown, the old market is like one of my favorite places to be. So we want you to come. We want you to share with each other, but we're also going to work with how it affects your day to day, how it affects, like Neil said, with your staff meetings and employee expectations, with payroll and profit margin, how to empower your team. It's not just theory, it's practical, proven, and powerful. It becomes the backbone of your store and of your life, because you become a happier person when you get to do some of these things, right? And because
Absolutely.
it changes how, it doesn't just change how others feel about your store, it changes how you feel about running it. And that's what the biggest difference is. And that's why I am so passionate about it. Like, this book has taught me so much about people and how to bring them in. And that's what we're going to talk about, is how to get your team involved and how to get your team motivated to do and want to be a part of this movement, because there is an art to it. You can't just say we're going to be unreasonable and then just be like, okay, what do we do? There's a whole long theory of it. So we're going to talk about that, but I'm going to stop my share, and I'm going to come back, and I am just going to read you I'm just going to read you this. Okay. It's not very long, but it's just things that I want you to get from the whole thing. Unreasonable hospitality is understanding your core values. It's mapping out the customer's journey and intentionally elevating it. It's determining recurring moments and those that are just one-to-one. It's a gut level, oh my gosh, they see me, coming from your customers. And it's a standing ovation on a Tuesday morning, or it's a standing ovation on a Thursday before you leave, right? It's making these moments. And when your team gets it, they light up. Your team's role isn't just ringing up a sale or straightening a rack, it's creating magic within your store. Because when they spot the unseen need and they rise in that moment and to that moment, they know what they did mattered. It turns work into purpose and bonds your team together. Customers aren't walking into a transaction, they're walking into an experience, and it's one that says, you belong here, you matter to us, and we thought of you. That kind of welcome creates loyalty that no punch card or reward program can ever do. They talk about it, they bring their friends, they become your advocates because you made them feel seen in the moment. Unreasonable hospitality is not about expense or being expensive. It's about intentionality, 100%. It's a note tucked in a bag, remembering a customer's name or even their dog's name and asking about them. Offering a shoulder and tissue when someone's had a rough day and saying, take your time, we're here for you. It's noticing them and then acting with your heart. It's messy, beautiful moments, it's surprise connections, and it's grace and chaos. Unreasonable hospitality, you guys, is a gift that you are blessed to give every single day. I wish I still had that more than anything. It's a gift that you can give every single day because you are creating dream weavers in yourself and in your team. Everyone on your team, in your store, is a dream weaver. Everyone gets to create the magic, and everyone is an owner in the moment. Dream weavers anticipate the needs of the customer or the guest before they even knew they had them. Your team becomes dream weavers, not just employees. You shift the vibe from procedure to purpose, and you get more than just an employee working for you. You get a valued partner that wants to be on your team. So I want you to think about, when you go into your store tomorrow, or even think about it tonight, what small moments can you create? Ones that can have an incredible impact, ones that are overlooked, ones that feel yucky now, but what can you do to make them magic? push beyond great customer service. We're not doing that anymore. We're doing unreasonable hospitality, and we are becoming imaginatively generous, taking the ordinary to extraordinary, because it's not about spending more. It's not about spending more. It's about caring more. Because unreasonable
Ooh,
hospitality.
that's a great way to end it, Angie, right there.
Well, I got a little bit more. Unreasonable hospitality doesn't live
You got a little bit more. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Unreasonable hospitality doesn't live in a policy manual. It lives in a split second where you choose connection over convenience, where you pause just long enough to see someone and then act in a way that makes them feel unforgettable. And here's the thing. You don't need permission. You don't need a bigger budget. You just need to care louder. So today, tomorrow, next week, the week beyond, don't just serve, surprise. Don't just respond to what's happening, anticipate it. And don't just meet expectations, shatter them. Because the most unforgettable businesses, they're built one goosebump moment at a time. And every one of us right now has the power to create that. So go be unreasonable and let your customers feel it forever.
Love it.
That's my unreasonable hospitality speech. Because my gosh, you guys, I
Great job, Angie.
can't imagine what this can do for you and your business. You just can't. This is nothing compared to what we have in store for you. So that's what I'm saying. That's my sword I'm dying on today, Neil.
I can't wait to see everybody in Omaha.
Omaha. You know, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be magical. It's going to be the art of unreasonable hospitality as portrayed and seen by Next Level Resale. It's so much
Yes.
So much fun. Yes. So, any last parting words, Neil?
I feel empowered and excited, Angie.
Yes. Me too. Me too. So, you guys, I want you to think about those touch points along the way. You know, think about what you do in your store. Think about how you can elevate again, how you can make the yucky ones better, the good ones better, and everything's going to be so cool when you finish it. So
It is. It is.
yes, I love it.
I'm so excited about it. You know what else I'm excited about, Angie?
What, Neil? Tell me.
This video and everything we talk about goes over to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running the store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and oh yes, ring the bell, ring it so you know when another one drops. You can also share it with everybody you know in business, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, so we can help everybody run a better business and do their numbers.
Do their numbers.
I am here. We are here every Sunday and Wednesday at More Eat-to-Nish. Sunday and Wednesday at More Eat-to-Nish. But if you have a question in between, just email us, Neil, Neil at nextlevelresale.com, Neil at nextlevelresale.com. We start the program every night with our unique daily quotes. I gave you our opening quote at the beginning. Our ending quote is, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bow line, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I'm here with Angie Halous. And we do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah even. I got both of those coming up on my calendar, you know. But you know what, even better than that, I have a Make It Happen premiere party happening this September in Omaha, Nebraska, and we can't wait to see you there. But until then, and until Wednesday at More Eat-to-Nish, know that you, but most importantly you, yes you, you're not alone running this store. Ooh, I'm going to be away Wednesday. Maybe Angie will pop on instead of me Wednesday. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a surprise because I'm on the road Wednesday. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you soon.
See you guys.
Bye.